You're not seeing the change you want because you keep sitting there trying to plan and study and research and wait for the right moment for this change to happen, thinking that the change that you want to happen is supposed to happen overnight or instantaneously. Let me paint a picture for you. You're at the bottom of a mountain and you're trying to climb to the top. If you sit there at the bottom of the mountain, constantly planning, iterating, and figuring out, okay, I'm going to make this jump and it's going to bring me 20 feet up the mountain. Every day that you take to plan how you're going to make that jump to get that 20 feet up the mountain is a day wasted and just taking a step up the mountain. You need to just go. And as you go, you'll figure out how to make those 20 feet leaps a lot easier and a lot more consistently. But if you keep staying at the bottom of the mountain, by the time you look left and right and you're starting to compare yourself to the people that are going up the mountain and that are much higher than you, you're not even realizing it's because they started way before and they didn't sit there waiting, trying to figure out, how am I going to climb this mountain? How can I do this into a 20 feet leap? You just have to start climbing. And as you climb, figuring out how to go faster will become inevitable. You won't believe how many videos I've seen on YouTube of, I made $10,000 in 30 seconds. I made blah, blah, blah. I made this much money doing that. I flipped the real estate and then I became a millionaire, blah, 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 blah. These videos used to really kill me because I used to be like, why can't it happen to me? Why can't I achieve that success? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? It wasn't until I found out the secret of what these people are actually doing that I started to see a real change in my own life and started to see success in the things that I was doing with remote sales, with entrepreneurship, and with public speaking. The difference between people who say, oh, I was able to make $10,000 a month after just doing this simple side hustle, and the people who aren't making that $10,000 a month is the fact that those people who are starting to make that $10,000 a month are iterating. They're trying, they're going, they're doing, they're failing, they're doing, they're retrying. They're constantly doing, constantly taking action. The people that aren't able to crack that 10K month, the people that aren't able to make those sales, the people that aren't able to grow their following, they're not being consistent. The people who are not able to create those changes and make those leaps and bounds in their business, their brand, or the changes in their life they're trying to make, myself included, before I started making these changes, is you're stuck in analysis paralysis. You're stuck in the research and development phase where you think you need all the information before you take action on anything. And you're facing imposter syndrome where you don't actually believe that you can achieve what you're trying to achieve. So you're looking up the mountain and you're like, I can't climb this. You're seeing people climb it. You're seeing people go fast climbing it. And you're like, it can't be me. As soon as you step up the mountain and you feel a little bit of resistance, you're like, I don't know if this mountain's the one I can climb. As soon as you slide down the mountain a little bit because you slipped and you lost your footing, you're like, this mountain's not for me. And now you're looking left and right, trying to find other mountains that seem easier for you. The grass is not greener on the other side. The only way you're going to see the changes you want is to commit and to constantly take action and build and chip away, build and chip away. A lot of skilled professionals in the creative field talk about how just because it takes them 15 minutes to do something and they charge $10,000 for that thing, the person that they're charging that $10,000 is paying for the 15 years it took them to develop the skill set for it to take them 15 minutes to do what you're paying for. And that's the same kind of mentality you have to take when it comes to achieving your dream, when it comes to achieving success in business, and when it comes to making this big leap and change in your life for it to be sustainable. Overthinking is bound to kill your progress. It's this allure that we have of the perfect plan that keeps us stuck in the fear of failure. We tend to want to have everything figured out before we take any action, and it keeps us stuck with the idea of fear and failure. It really touches on the sunk cost fallacy. You don't want to invest more time into planning than you want to invest time into actually doing the thing that needs to get done. The more you waste time on a planning phase, that's going to create more of an issue with the sunk cost fallacy, because we tend to spend and invest more time and effort on a plan, even if it's not going to work, due to the illusion of already invested resources. Oh, I planned so much. I did all this research and blah, 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 without even getting the proof of concept if this plan is going to work in the first place. What you need to do is take massive action on the ideas that you have immediately and find out if that plan, if that idea, if that action is even the right action for you. If this mountain is even the right mountain for you to climb, the only way you'll know is to fucking climb it. And when you're climbing, you have to embrace imperfection. When I first started remote sales, I dove right in. Granted, I have a sales background, so I have to talk more about when I first started sales in the first place. When I first started sales, I dove right in too, because I didn't have the idea and concept of I have to be the best salesman before I start selling. I had the idea of I'm gonna be the best by doing sales. I understood that the only way I'm going to be the best is by going headfirst into the fire. I had to go, I had to try, I had to learn, and I had to do. There was no amount of reading, YouTube videos, and studying that was going to prepare me any more than actually selling or actually trying to sell. Essentially, you have to embrace imperfection. Accept the mistakes are going to be inevitable and that learning happens through experimentation. If you can't accept the fact that you're going to learn through experimentation and through iteration, you're pretty much never going to make any consistent and constant progress towards whatever you're trying to do. You have to embrace that experimentation factor because that's what's going to lead you to getting more incremental progression. And that's the closest thing you can get to perfection. And it's important to understand that you have to embrace the idea of MVPs, which is the minimum viable product. And that's getting the data to let you know whether or not your idea even works or if people are even interested or if your ideas are even going to bring you the changes that you're looking for in your life. Again, going back to the mountain, is this the right mountain for you to climb? And you're not going to find that out by sitting there trying to calculate the mountain all the time. You're only going to find out by taking the time to climb the mountain yourself. And you'll slowly start to realize that as you take small steps up the mountain, as you take small strides into your business, into the consistency, into the new skill, into whatever you're trying to develop, you'll build momentum. And the funny thing about momentum is it compounds. I remember when I first started doing remote sales specifically, I was wondering, like, when am I going to start to see the results I keep seeing on YouTube? When am I going to hit my first 10K month? When am I going to do this? When am I going to do that? And it wasn't until I just kind of relinquished control of the outcome and focused on output that I started to see the results. How do I make sure that I'm putting in the most amount of time to getting better at my craft, which is taking more calls, which is studying my craft, which is looking at my videos, which is understanding and getting reviews on my calls. Basically, I completely committed to the idea that if I work my craft, I'll improve my craft. If I improve my craft, I'll increase the revenue my craft can bring me. And that's the only way you're going to get where you want to go. But I also made sure that I didn't stagnate by trying to research my craft for too long. And I made sure to take action on the craft. That's how I got proof of concept and the MVP, the minimum viable product, to understand that this craft is going to work for me and that I am climbing the right mountain. This is why it's important to know who you are and what you're good at, and to lean into the talent you have so that way it's not a hard pull. Real world data is invaluable. Planning can take you so far, but actual results will reveal what you're truly good at. And while you're trying to figure out how to climb this mountain, you have to treat every step as an opportunity to learn, continuous improvement, progress over perfection. Refine your strategies and improve your results, but your strategies will get improved and refined based on you taking the action on them. It comes down to redefining how you view success. Don't get lost in comparison. Don't keep looking at the how to make 10K a month videos and it's all these different types of side hustles and entrepreneurships, blah, 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 courses and all that. No. These people stuck to one thing for a long time, made money in that one thing. You got to cultivate a growth mindset and learn to accept the process of commitment. If you can't commit to a mountain that you decided to climb, that you've proved that is the right mountain for you, you will never succeed because you're going to constantly want to go left and right and climb different mountains as soon as this mountain seems a little bit too difficult for you or gives you a little bit of resistance. If you can't face the resistance that comes with your choice, if you can't face the resistance that comes with your decision, if you can't face the resistance that comes with the choice that you made for the mountain you want to climb, what makes you think that you even deserve to be at the top of that mountain? It was never supposed to happen fast. And if it happens fast, it means you were gambling and you got lucky. You can increase your luck by doing more and creating more reps, but trying to bank on luck for a sustainable lifestyle change or for a sustainable change in how you gain your finances or how you live your life is not the type of life that you want to live, because you're going to be constantly gambling and playing with your life. That's not a way anybody should be living their life. At the end of the day, you have to identify your biggest roadblocks. What's holding you back from taking action? Commit to the action. Take a small actionable step. Start with something manageable and build momentum. Once you commit to small actionable steps, you'll find that something really funny happens when you start building momentum. Momentum actually compounds. The more steps you take, instead of it being like this and it's a gradual growth, it's actually more like this and it's a curved growth. Because what happens at Q1, Q2, Q3, and 4 is exponentially different if you are able to capitalize on the momentum that you built through consistent effort and progressive output. Progress over perfection. Stop getting stuck in the planning phase and then consistently trying to do new things and starting your planning phase from scratch again. Go into the action phase. Find the proof of concept. Keep chipping away at your momentum and keep building. And from there, you'll realize, wow, I've gotten a lot higher on this mountain by sticking to this one mountain than I have from jumping from mountain to mountain to mountain to mountain and staying at the bottom of all those mountains each time. Choose progress over perfection. Choose to build momentum. Choose to take action. And watch how much that commitment changes your life. I go by the name of Apex. I tell my story to help you tell your story. Together, we'll write history. Go get it. Stop waiting. Take action. Stop thinking. Start doing. We out.